I do need something to show. Hello, everyone. Thanks for your patience waiting for me. I'm sorry. It's just been like a bit of a crazy day. So that's why it's been slow. And not sure if you can't hear me, let me know because I actually have switch machines, although I'll be switching machines again and then I'll be switching again. But no, but here's the thing: when you switch machines, you need the way it's working, right? I do need to have everything all kind of. Some things are not. I didn't put it onto the cloud, so it's local to my machine, and it's my fault. I should really have uploaded it to a cloud storage. Then I can just pull them over. Although there are still things that needs to be updated. So anyway, I mean the whole setup is not simple. So when I move things, then I realize I didn't move things over properly. But in any event. Let me see. Let me know too if you can't hear me because I think I have like started switching things, but I think I am seeing that my audio is working. But if it isn't, do let me know because um, it's I think I may not have done something correctly. Is what I'm thinking. But in any event, okay. So I'm here, and as such, okay. Here's the thing. I'm going to be switching a bit of a focus, but for today, as such, as a technologist, right? I mean, I'd say I'm interested in technology as is. I mean, there's just if you don't pull the money part into it, it's actually there's a lot of fun. I mean, even if you put the money part in, it should be fun. I mean, that's the whole point, right? Technology should be a creative thing to do, not just like copy and paste code, not just about making money. I mean, certainly we do need to make a living. Do not get me wrong, but it's just that if we only pay attention to money in this world, I think the happiness won't last for too long. I mean, it does, but you know what? Ultimately, too, I think we need more than just money. We need more than just bread. We need more, right? More in the sense is, we need friendship, right? We need people who cares. We need people who can relate to one another, right? We can talk with one another. It makes sense, right? It makes your life a lot more meaningful, is what I'm looking for. Anyway, I know. I mean, I don't mean to go into like a kind of philosophical kind of talk, but yeah. Anyway, that's the thing. So for today, right, I was gonna say let me kind of continue on with the test container work, if that's okay. But otherwise, too, I don't know if anybody is here. Let me take a look. I can't actually tell if anybody is here, but so far I'm not seeing anybody that I know. And I apologize for Fusnabo. It's very late for Fusnabo in Norway, in the Central European time zone. But I apologize too, because I hosted my Chicago Java users group today, and in fact, that's a speaker from Norway, Rustam, a great friend of mine too, not just a speaker, but not just fellow speaker of Java champion. He's just amazing, and he's also a Google developer expert, and certainly too very learned. I like him too. He's very practical, yet at the same time he has this computer scientist kind of approach to things, and I just love it. Right? You have the theoretical, and then you bring in the practical work. It's more of a concrete thing. I think it's a great thing. I think it should be combined, right? Like what we learned, we reason things out, the philosophy, all of these things needs to be translated into real life, into like every day, how you deal with people, how you make sense out of everything, how you do things and everything. So that's just my thinking. I may be talking with just myself right now, but I guess it's okay. It really doesn't matter. Maybe you're watching my my stream later too. So but just wanted to kind of chat a little bit. Oh, hey, hello, you are here, and you are having. And let me see. Han Van is your name? And Evan? Anyway, yeah, well, thank you for being here. So, and I apologize if you've been waiting. And where are you from? I'm just curious. And also, by the way, too, for those of you who are wondering, I have. Oh, you're from the UK. Oh, that's very cool. Thank you so much. And it is late for you there, right? I think it's like 6 hours ahead of Chicago, so it's like 10 o'clock. Okay, so it is late, but yeah, but not way too late. I mean, meaning not like midnight. It's like 10. But for me, to 10 p.m. is the start of me another round of doing work. Right? Not so much work. For me, I really like technology work, and sometimes I might be reading or just like to kind of know what's out there, right? As such, I look at, not just technology, right? In anything we do, I think it's always good. I mean, if we can, to get to know things that are outside of our immediate area, outside of what we know. And that's how my whole approach to life is too. I just realize I don't know everything. I may know something, a small bubble of me, right? I know that very well. But outside of me, there are larger bubbles and everything. So and it is so good, right? Let's say, right, the two bubbles that meet with each other, and you're open to each other, it pops, and then the two bubbles form bigger bubbles, right? You kind of exchanging ideas. I think that should be how things are. This world is not just about me. It's not just about myself. And in fact, I should put myself outside of things, and I should be looking at everybody's bubble and learn, and kind of get to know people, right? Just come out of my bubble, get to know everybody. I think it will make the world a much better place. And hello, and you have and let's see, I can't see too well somehow. It's just because my eyes was trying to fix my virtual camera issue. I have no idea what it was. For the longest time, I enabled my virtual camera. It wasn't able to be discovered. And eventually, maybe sometimes I think with some of these open source free software, I think they work well, but there must be some kind of things when you enable it doesn't always work. It takes time for it to maybe discover some internal discovery mechanism, and then the other software you try to integrate with, it might just take some time. So anyway, Potter, is that right? But hello, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you. Okay, so I hope too this stream will be useful for those of you spending the time, and today, like I said, I started late, so I think let me begin. And by the way, you can also educate me too, as far as being, I'm now an affiliate, right? A Twitch affiliate. So thank you all for your support. And I think there are different things like bits and then all of these drops and all of these things. So you can educate me, because I don't go, come in like from the gaming kind of perspective. I think there are lots of these different things that you can that I can, right, kind of offer to participants like yourself. So if there's anything that I can, be helping you, if you're a gamer, you're doing some things, you need some more points or reward points, I'm sorry, I'm kind of like not educated on that side. So teach me how to kind of play around with these things. Even I'm kind of wondering, because I noticed too, I have these things like channel points, right? I don't know. I think I'm supposed to be able to monetize this too, but I mean, certainly too, I'm not going to charge anybody any money for coming here. I mean, come on, this is technology. This is an open world. It's all about open source, about sharing. I'm just kind of free to share, right? That's what it is. And things change so fast. I think it's good to keep learning, keep sharing, and then helping one another out, right? To make this place better, right? It's all these things. And to me, I find that there's just an indefinite amount of knowledge to know and things to do and things to uncover, things to design, to be creative about. And for me, what it is that when I start to realize that people who came before me, who have come before me, they're still living, but most of them still living in computers or in anything, right? In infrastructure, the roads you are walking on, the parks that it's built near your house, and all of these little things. These are really people spending the time building on it. They may not get to enjoy it now, because let's face it, we do not live forever. Some of us are given, if we're kind of very fortunate, right? We get about 80 years, let's say 80 years of life. But some people too are given only maybe 10 years of life, or even like less, right? Or something. And even like sometimes you hear of very sad stories that maybe the baby got delivered but could not live, and it was born and just stillborn or whatever. Just, when you think about it, right? Just treasure your life, everybody, right? We need to really treasure it. Whatever it is, it is a gift, right? So I cannot be preaching in here, but I know who I believe. So I hope too you kind of recognize this fact that it is a gift, right? So anyway, so my point is, I talk for so long, is because I'm just wanting to appreciate all of the things that some other people did before me and they left behind so I can enjoy. And I think likewise, I'm paying forward. So then whatever I do, I hope to be able to put it out there, then somebody can benefit from it. It should be like this. I think human beings should be like this, right? We shouldn't be like so selfish about things. And and you say something, you agree. Thank you. So lucky to have all this great tech to explore. Yeah, and exactly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Yes, exactly. I really think, at this point in time, with all the crazy things that are going on, right? Again, I'm not bringing in, kind of any kind of politics, so to speak, but we live in this world. We can't help. We look around, right? There are things of COVID, right? I mean, look at this. It's causing so much division, fatality, this kind of, division and split, and kind of, people are polarizing against each other. Let's not do that anymore. Don't give in to the devil, so to speak, right? And those kind of negative like forces are out there to distract us, right? We need to look at the better side of things. We need to do better than this. We are capable of doing much better than this, right? I think we need to, right? We really need to step up, do well, right? And to be honest with you, sometimes I feel, I got slated, right? I mean, I'm sure too, everybody, we have encountered cases in which we feel it's so unfair. You're not being treated fairly or something. I kind of start to learn about this, that what I used to be upset about, maybe I'm still upset about some things. I can't help talk about it, be upset. Right now, I can still think of something, because if somebody kind of didn't do something good to you, you kind of, you remember, you never get rid of that feeling. You feel scarred, right, or something. Anyway, I kind of realized over time that there's no such thing as holding on to this anger, right? Just kind of move forward. There are all of these things. You feel you've done the right thing. Why do you have to face, people's kind of like not being nice to you or whatever it is, right? So and I know it is a very touchy subject and it's hard. We all kind of have experienced that kind of thing, but the negative thing. So let's kind of put it aside. Do good is what I think I'm telling myself to do, and also to learn from it, right? And just not be angry, or not be doing anything damaging, not to ourselves, not to other people, not to, but turn that kind of whatever is anger to turn it to something good. And that's the challenges I'm kind of telling myself to. But anyway, I am thankful. Let me kind of go back to it. If I think deeply about it, I'm really thankful, right? I'm given life, and I'm having technology to work with, to explore. Even like I'm wearing a shirt, women in tech, right? It's so great. I participated in a panel, and they gave me the shirt. That's very nice, actually. I think it's from, I forgot to, it's actually from MariaDB, if you know MariaDB, right? So yeah, so they invited me for a panel. Nice group of people. So women in tech, and I feel, as a woman in tech too. And again, not about politics or anything, but when I first started working in tech too, was much harder, because at the time there weren't as many women as they were today. I think today too there are lots of, on universities or women group and all these, and encouraging a lot of women to take up technology and all those things, which is really fantastic. But when I first started, it was there was none. It was actually still, the Usenix time, right? There's like before internet. And so there were just it's just harder, right? It's not clear, not as many women. There were certainly women too, and I was very fortunate enough to have met a few that are wonderful too, but there weren't that many. So and I remember myself too, not very sure a lot of times. Although I have to say too, some of my colleagues, they are men too, so encouraging, so inspirational, and they were the ones that helped me a lot. So for those things, I'm like real thankful. But anyway, so enough talking, right? So let me kind of go forward, and like I said, let me kind of go, okay, let me kind of shrink myself up, so then I don't kind of, I should not be at the center of the things here. So okay, so today I was going to say, let's kind of look into my test containers, and bear with me because this machine is a new machine, so I still have to actually set some things up. So let me bring my IntelliJ up. So nothing yet. So okay, let me bring my project over. And the thing is, I have to say, it's kind of not good of me, because I actually did not do any preparation. So what I'll do is that I actually did copy over a project. So I copy it from my old machine. So let me try to do this project. And this is like open. Actually, is no, not open, because let's do a new project. But it's actually an import. SDK. Oh, actually, you see, the thing is, it's so new because my machine is so new. So let me kind of download my JDK. Now, for this particular one, last week, I think I remember, let me kind of get things settled first. So let me do, let me use an older one. Okay, so these are all 17. Let me go back to 1.8. Because that example, actually, the test container one for the Redis example, is actually an older example, and it doesn't work with the newer Java. Actually, anything Java 9 and beyond, any module, it won't work, as I found out. So, but like I said, let me bring that over first. And it looks kind of small, my thing, but okay, let me kind of get this first. Let's download. That's interesting. We have Liberica, which is Bellsoft, and okay. In this case, let's use Eclipse Tamarind. That one. I'll download that, and in the meantime, while this is going, let me kind of bring. Let me go over here. Let me bring over my other thing, my terminal, and oops. Okay, here we go. I don't know. Let me know too, in case, right? I know I like to use different colors. Sometimes it's just easier for identifying things. But if the color doesn't work for you for whatever reason, I apologize, and I have to be like cognizant about that. So let me know too, and I can change the color too. But let me just kind of make it a little bigger in here. Okay, so like I said, machine is all brand new. In fact, this is an M1. Yeah, I have to say it. It is pretty cool. It's very fast. And I finally, actually, about 2 weeks ago or so, I got this, but just didn't get a chance to set things up until these few days. And I decided let me kind of use it because may as well is a 10 core machine, right? Before that, I was having a 4 core, and it's not working too well, right? For especially for streaming. So let me use this. And the thing is, okay, let me kind of like this. Okay, work. And I have this thing. Actually, you know what? Let me kind of go over here. And sorry if you're watching me doing things, but I think that's the whole point of this stream, right? We're trying to bring, okay, test container. There we go. So okay, let me kind of move this over to this work, and let me switch. And I think this is might be a little too. Did I press something or did somebody say something? Is there like a chat? Let me see. I don't know where the chat is on my restream. So if you can wait a minute, let me kind of make sure. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah. And oh, okay. I get back to my OBS, and there's just too many things right now. And I do realize it is very blurry. So therefore, let me make it a little bigger. Make it kind of like real big. Let me do this. Okay, all right. So all of these, let me do it again. Okay, Twitch. So okay, and I wanted to organize things better, so I'll just say like code something, right? And then I'll move that thing over here, the one that I copy over. Like I said, I should have also like check into my GitHub, but I haven't done it yet. So let me just do this. This one is test container. So this is the one. So I'm gonna be doing this. Okay, and while this is done, then I can import it, right? Okay, so additional libraries and frameworks. I don't need anything extra. So command line app, that's fine. And project name. Wait, I think you know what I should do is rather than say new project, I should say open. Actually, in this case, let me do this. Code. I wonder. Okay, here we go. Trust project. Okay. Oh, I think it's opening up on my. It's opening it up here. Close it. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait. It says is in the main test containers Java repository. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, let me bring this. Let's bring this over. Everything's is purple today. Oh, okay, and let me increase the size so we can see better. Okay, so this is the test containers. So this actually is the newer version. Okay, so last time I didn't see it, right? Okay, but in any event, what it's trying to do too is the same thing. So let's kind of build it with 1.8. Let's do what we have from last time. So let me make it bigger. I think the font in here I can't do it. I think I have to do it from the menu too. So let me see where's the menu. I think. Oh, here we go. Let me just make it bigger. Apologize. Like I said, when everything is kind of all brand new setup, then it tends to be. Okay, let's do the font. Let's do it like 20. Well, I guess it doesn't do it this way, right? Or maybe I need to like set it. Wait, let me go back to that guy. Okay. Okay, so this is just the editor. I wonder maybe appearance. Well, but anyway, I wanted to make the not just the editor like bigger, right? So appearance maybe. Appearance, no. Custom font. Presentation, no, this isn't. Menu bar, system settings. Yeah, I don't, because I don't usually do this, right? If I'm just doing things on my own, I would just worry about my editor. So not like in a live stream. So I suppose these are not, well, you can kind of tell me too, like which one. But in any event, well, then I'll have to apologize that it's kind of a little bit like not big enough. But let's do this 22. How about that? Okay. And so this guy should, I'm expecting it to be bigger too, but in any event, okay, let's take a look. We're looking at the Redis backed cache, right? So even with here, can I make my font a little bigger? I guess I don't see anything. So okay, this just open it up. So I'm just looking at this example, Redis backed cache. So the idea is take a look into test containers and how it is being used, right? So, okay, so these are just ideas, directory, no big deal. We just look into the example of the cache. I hope is this big enough? I'm kind of looking into my other screen too to see. Come on, okay. It looks kind of small. It is kind of still small. So let me kind of make this bigger. I wonder if I can just do it in line. I can't. I have to do it. I thought maybe like this would be, let's do a 28. Yeah, maybe better. Yeah, it looks a little bit better now, right? So I apologize too on the left side, on more the menu thing is not, I don't seem to be able to increase the size. Like I said, you can kind of tell me how to increase the size here. Yeah, see there's no like settings, right, for this resize. Okay, these are just resize the window, not the fonts itself. So I apologize. In any event, I think we're kind of just more interested onto the right side, which is the code, the content, right? So okay, let's take a look. So this particular case, right, we're doing a just a simple example of a Redis backed cache. Now the thing is, if a Guy Royce, who actually works for Redis as a developer advocate, he joined me right for one of the streams back in December. Actually, I think it was during the holidays, and he was online. He saw me, and I invited him, and that was a lot of fun things. He talked about Redis cache. So if you're ever wanting to know more about Redis, I can ask Guy to come and join my stream again. Just let me know, and also my Discord channel too. So let me kind of post it again because some of you are new here. So let me see where did my window go? There's always such a where did it go? Okay, all right, here we go. My let me type it in. Although, well, I'm actually running restream. So where is my restream? Wait a minute. Oops. Oh, it opens up in here. No wonder. All right. Okay. I will actually, you know what I'll do? Let me do this one thing. Let me kind of move this back, and then I'll come back to this later. And I am so sorry. It's okay. Let's you look at the code while I'm looking at this, and I will check in the code too for you. So I will just share with you my my Discord link. And where did it go? It's kind of funny. Sometimes you try to look for things and then they are not there. Because I have certain already, kind of like a links that I'm sharing, but then I cannot see them in here. Um, hmm. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't know where this now. Last week that was a funny thing. Oh, here we go. Oh, I finally realized that I wasn't noticing the tab on my restream, and now I got it. So, yeah, yeah. Let me see. Okay, caption. There we go. Okay. I had it before, but somehow it didn't save it. So let me share again my Discord. That's what I was trying to do, and uh, let me. And I have to look over there, look back at my stream and see what this is. Uh, hmm. Here we go. Okay. I should actually memorize it rather than look up all the time. But the thing is, though, I got probably like 200 different types of accounts. Or your financial account, your utility accounts, your Google accounts. Even within Google, I have 4 variations of my Google accounts. It is kind of a bit of a crazy thing. So, and there we go. So here it is. So I'm sharing my Discord. So if you like to join me on my Discord, that's what it is. So that's what it is. So I'm just gonna leave it up for just a second, so then you can look at it. But in the meantime, right, as I said, I wanted to share my Discord because I feel that while we can chat here, but the chat will go away when I'm done with the stream. So if you want to continue talking, there's just so much to talk about, so much to share. I have had folks that are in kind of constant conversations with me too, which I really enjoy so much. And I see, especially Hedy. I don't know if Hedy you are online, but Hedy, based in Tunisia, we have had a couple of really good, great conversations. He's so good with keeping up and kind of looking into new technology. Somebody who's passionate about technology and kind of grown so fast, right? Meaning in this space, right? Learning about different things. And I really like it too. And then actually talking about which too, if anybody knows where Timeless Potato is, please let me know. I've been like looking for her or him. I can't remember sometimes, but Timeless Potato used to be on this stream, and so I don't know where he or she is now. But if you are here, I like to say that please come back and join us. So we miss you. So anyway, it's just great, right, to be able to kind of like talk about things. So okay, so without further ado, let's look at this Redis back cache as such. So this is the old implementation, but like I said, let's just try to run it because that's what we tested out, and I didn't see the new version of the example till just now. So, but let me build it so then we can all look at it and see what this test example is trying to do. As such, too, we want to implement the cache first. So this cache, we essentially implemented using their Jedis class. I think Jedis or Jedis. Now I haven't used Redis enough, but I think it must be. I think I know. They probably Jedis is like a must be like their main object, right? Something, right? Binary Jedis. It must be like their way of managing the cache, right? It's their main object, I think. Anyway, so it looks like too. It can be of different types, right? It can be Jedi's command. They're multi-key commands, advanced Jedi's, scripting, basic, cluster, and Sentinel commands. So yeah, they're more kind of Sentinel and more for monitoring, I suppose, right? Signal and that type of stuff. So, okay. So we just need to initialize with the Jedi's. And Guy should correct me because Guy is the expert here. So, like I said, if you're interested, I'll get Guy onto my stream and he can explain more too. It was using the JSON, the Google JSON kind of thing. So, okay, and then essentially too, this particular cache is just having like 2 methods. One is the put, right? But essentially Redis too, it manages cache looking at your data as key value pairs, right? So you basically have a put that essentially save your key value pair, and essentially 2, you want to convert it to JSON value, and basically then put this converted JSON value into your cache. So I think then that's what it is, right? The cache name is whatever gets passed in. So yeah. So in such as such, right? This is just a very simple key value pair cache, and then you can do a get in order to extract out of it, the value of these different keys and stuff. So okay, so that's what it is doing. So let's see what the test is doing, right? So there's again, right, the put and then the get, but it returns an optional because yeah, it doesn't have to be, right? It can be like optional essentially. But talking about optional too, yeah, I worked with it, right? Especially when I first got to work with Java 8, that's when optional came out. I remember there was like tons of debate over it. Should there be actually optional and everything? And sometimes too, it's interesting. And put it that way, I really respect, right, people who are doing a lot of like computer language, people that are specializing in the languages layer. Computer languages as its own semantics, right, their own ways of doing things, and different languages have different ways of doing things. How they look at the world is very different. Let's say Java, and then we also have Ruby, other things, right, Python, you name it, right, JavaScript, all kinds of languages. But the thing is too, I find myself like little less patient, right, so to speak, with spending a lot of time on the philosophical aspect of languages. I mean, they are very important, don't get me wrong, but as such, there are just so many things to know. Sometimes I would just learn a language and know enough that I know how to use it. I think then I will move on, because as such, there are things such as, for me, I really enjoy working with distributed messaging. I pay more attention to messaging and how do you do sending and receiving, things like that, right? And sometimes some people are more into the languages and argue and all of these things, but that's fine too. But see, for example, like if you want to get into philosophical debate about whether optional is the right thing and all that, I don't think I would be very good at that, because some ways too I feel like, okay, whatever it works and help me achieve my goals of maybe devising some solution for a problem using the tools I have, I think that's kind of good enough for me, because it's just I just simply don't have enough time to get into the not logistical, but kind of rationale whether into something whether it's good or bad. But anyway, I just thought of bringing it up because I've worked in some teams in the past in which people just like to spend time arguing all these things, and like I said, that's just me. But everybody can choose the way they want to do things. But anyway, so let's get into it. So this is the cache, but actually too is that let's take a look into this interface of the cache class, which I forgot to look at. So we're implementing the cache. So this is the interface of the cache, and like I said, we already know it's just got the put and then also the get. That's all. So it's just this particular example is a Redis backed cache. So, and as such too, so it's using the Jedi's. You know what? Let me take a look at the Jedi's and see what that is, because last time I just quickly run it, really not spending time trying to understand it. So let me kind of take a look. Let's go back and bring that other. Okay, so this one is the newer version. So we'll take a look at this after we work with the 1.8. But for now, let me kind of look at the Redis Jedi's. I'm assuming it's called Jedi's, but again, somebody can correct me too. But the Jedi's. Okay. There we go. So that's the code for Jedi's. But I just wanted to know what this is, right? Let's go to 1.1.1. Okay, that's it. Nothing too much in here. Let's look back into the Jedi's. There's a docs directory. Okay, so these are just discussions. No, I just wanted to take a look into the docs. Here we go. Well, there's 3 to 4 primitives, 3 to 4 zset list, and 3 to 4. What are those, right? Redis JSON, Redis Maven. Okay. Well, let's take a look at this. Okay, so these are just essentially just technical kind of specs, more like specs kind of thing, or usage, right? Specs, and so not giving me much. Okay, here we go. There. That's something I wanted to see if they have some documentation. So Redis JSON, Redis quick start, and so latest version of Redis JSON let you share, store, manipulate, index, and query JSON. To use these features with Jedi's, you need to use the unified Jedi's interface or a subclass of it. And let's see how this works. So connecting with unified Jedi's, so here is just giving an example to learn it. So let's create a unified Jedi's instance, right? So you do a new Jedi's pool and then give it the protocol's default host and 6479. Now we can start working with JSON. So we'll be using JSON, right, to handle serialization of POJOs to JSON. And Okay, so here we go. We're building an online learning platform, and we want to represent students. So then using the Pojo to represent, so normal kind of, you build your object as the get first name and the getters. Now you can then create some students and store them in Redis as JSON. So you just create them, these object, and basically then use the client.json set, and then that's how you do it. Okay, so that's how you can you store them, and then essentially too, then you want to be able to query this JSON. We'll need to create an index, right? Let's create an index on the first name and last name fields. Okay, so now we get more into this implementing, which is great. But the thing is, even now, I just wanted to know a bit more about this. So yeah, so you can read up on it, right? So if you're interested, right, you can take a look into this. If you're kind of, like I said, just FYI, we don't have to, but this is just an example, right? Redis JSON, Redis. Oops. May as well just let me make sure I'm kind of like a quick start, right? Just okay. So I just share it in here, so you can read up on that. But essentially, too, what I wanted to know is what this Redis Jedi is. Example documentation. I just want to look at some documentation. Intro to Jedi's. Oh, here we go. So this might be a good the baildung.com. So this is by Eugene, right? Eugene from Romania. He has this site, right? I'm sure as Java developers, if you are a Java, most of the time folks are familiar with this site because it's got a lot of nice blog posts. I think if you're in general too, not just for Java, right? And anybody can come, but of course with this seems to be like a more well-known like Java resource type of programming details kind of site. This one, and then there's also a dzone is also a good one. And then now, don't forget, there's also Fuji. Now, good friends, a lot of good friends there. Fuji.io. Please check them out too, especially if you're doing Java. Like I said, even though it's kind of Java focused, but I think sometimes too you can read and then get a good sense of sometimes a lot of conceptual stuff that you want to get to. Now, FUJ stands for Friends of Open Source Java. Friends of Open JDK. I think, yeah. So let's take a look. Why don't I just go over there, right, rather than just talking? Here we go. So this is it, right? Fuji.io. So this is actually pretty cool. There are a lot of really nice articles that my good friend Jürgen, who is the open source community director at Azul, the JVM company, he manages a lot. And then with some of the other advocates too at Azul, they are kind of actively managing, and JFrog also is sponsoring too. So and in fact, if you like, you can take a look. Oh, actually, wrong thing. Sorry. View all articles. So if you go to Fuji, every day they publish some articles, right? And then a weekly, they have a big one. Actually, my name is on there. I'm just behind. Like, can you see? I'm in here because I contributed an article to there too. So they actually highlighted me as a feature author in there too. But in any event, right, there are lots of really great articles in here. Different authors, and they write things. And in fact, this reminds me, I do need to put in another article now. So yeah. So please visit, right, if you want to take a look. But I do have to say, sometimes too, if you read these things, they may have some level of assumption that you are familiar with the technology. But I'd say, for the most part though, that's not always the case. If you look through it, sometimes like they have grouped, a lot of these are being cataloged too as like having the tag of getting started, right? So if you want to like journeys in Java, and this Jennifer Rafe, and she is wonderful. She's the daughter of Mark Heckler. If you've been again following using Spring, Mark, right? So her dad used to work for VMware, and now he's at Microsoft doing Java advocacy. Wonderful people. They're just such a wonderful family, really good and kind people. I think that's what we need more. It's just the kind people technologists and kind and sharing, just lovely people. Anyway, so Jennifer works for Neo4j, and so yeah, she does is doing some of these. I think it's great. I think take a look at these articles. They are just really great. Like I said, maybe I'll get Jennifer join me one day. I really should. Why didn't I do that? So talking about which too, I think I have told you too a few weeks ago that I would have Josh Long come and join my Twitch stream. So everybody knows Josh. If a Spring person, Josh is a currently, right, has been actually also like with VMware, used to be then Pivotal, and then I guess then they switched back and forth, and now it's VMware again. So for the Spring, right, the Spring framework, he's well known, my Spring advocate, and he has written a couple of really amazing books, and he and I are going to do this podcast. In fact, I need to still submit my content over to him, and then I will invite him to my stream. So please kind of stay tuned too, because once we have it, then we I'll be having him on here. I think will be great. We're gonna talk about a couple of things. So okay, that's the thing. So like I said, right, there are tons of things in here. There's also Syed. I don't know Syed, but there are lots of really great articles in here too. So, like for example, Cedric Lupin, he's like with data stacks, and so yeah, great guy too. So also he talks about Spring and cloud native. So they write about different things, and Nicholas too, who's actually a French person, amazing, funny guy too, I should say. But he's also very good. He's a prolific speaker and writer too. So he's really good. He has a lot of different. He writes about a lot of different topic areas, which is kind of amazing. And then let's see who else I know. Oh, Frank too. I wanted to point out Frank Delporte. He's based in Belgium, and he's really good into like MQTT too, into the devices like Raspberry Pi and all that stuff. And so yeah, he'll be a good resource if you're interested in doing MQTT using IoT kind of device to device communication. So you see that a lot of his projects are on that too, in fact. So yeah. So take a look at this. I want to, they organize it nicely now. I think it's a kind of recent, not too recent, but kind of a nice feature. So yeah, okay. So that's that. I kind of keep like going off key, right? But it's sometimes fun to talk about things, and that's when we, this stream is supposed to be learning about different things. So like I said, right, if we want to learn about Jedi's or Jedis, okay. So this one will be here. It's fairly new too, January. So these are kind of, not that they are not actually like too new, but it's introduction to Jedi's client library in Java for Redis, right? Oh, okay. So Jedi's is really a client library for Java for Redis, and that's what I was looking for, right? Okay. So yeah, so kind of this one too. It's funny. I'm like kind of doing advocate for them, but that's the thing too. As technologists, we're kind of into like sharing, open source, all of these things. Sharing are always good. So so the this one is Redis, Jedis client library info, right? Okay, so I just thought I'd share. So then, if you want to look at, then it will be kind of helpful. So here. So let's kind of go back now. Let me kind of go back to here. So my ID is running low on memory. That's funny. What do you mean? Okay, analyze memory usage. How about that? I think it's just a matter of my machine has a lot of memory. Heap dump analysis requires IntelliJ to restart. All right, that's fine. Let's restart and let's see what happens. Okay, it should come back in a minute or so. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Undefined path variable. Okay, fix it. JSON is I'm kind of blocking in this case. So let me, you know what I'll do? Let me kind of shrink myself a little further. I realize that oh, Actually, let me move myself. Where should I move myself? I think maybe onto the other side now because a lot of messages are printing out on here. So, oops. Okay, here we go. So now you can see, right? It says load error, undefined. So I'll just have my ID fix it in this case and not answering me. Come on. Oh, I think maybe some must be some other dialog is open. Uh, Here we go. There are undefined path variables in project configuration files. So name, Kotlin bundled, and this, and Maven repository is that. Okay, I think this is right. Let me kind of take a look. Okay, so memory use report analysis complete. Let's take a look. Do you like sometimes this system kind of analysis thing? I kind of like it. It's kind of strange to talk about it, but it's a lot of data, right? Just kind of like looking at it. So let me see if I can make it bigger too. I suppose I cannot. I cannot increase the font size, and I apologize for that. All right, here we go. I think it's probably trying to, I hope it's not like crashing, but it also is saying something is detected unusually high memory use. You can send the following report. Okay, well, you know what? It is very true. If I look at it, this whole stack, it would take me hours to try to like figure out what is going on. As you can see, ooh, it's actually still using Swing. Isn't it amazing, folks? I don't know if you have used Swing before, but Swing used to be the primary like Java kind of GUI graphical user interface library, right? It was really big for a while. It's actually started off with before Swing was AWT, right? The abstract windowing toolkit. And then I think there's also another one in between. Is it Java Abstract AWT? And then because it's actually somewhat of a lower level kind of usage, so it's harder to use. So then they essentially revamp it, and then that became, I think, Swing kind of took over. So Java X.Swing. So I worked a bit with Swing, and that's how I started working with Java back in year 2000. Can you believe it? Wow, 22 years ago. So that's when I first started working with Java, was really through the path of Swing. And Swing is some ways too is a good way. It is my opinion, because prior to that I was a C programmer. So as you know, C is more like, not object oriented, and it's more procedural, right, kind of thing. So it's good too. It's very fast, right, with C. But of course, too, Java came out, was supposed to be well, it is kind of like a abstract a virtual machine, right? Is all your code kind of gets compiled into what you call bytecode. So then bytecode will then be interpreted by the virtual machine that are native to each machine type, right, that you're on. So if I'm on Mac, I have a JVM for Mac, and then JVM for Windows, and all these things, and different machine, right? So that particular layer. But anyway, so Swing was kind of really good in that. But the thing is nice about Swing to me, I found, was that because it's graphical, so a lot of the windowing toolkit, right, and especially with any widgets, right? They call widgets that are being used for your GUI application, their tree structure, for example. So, and windows or dialogues and all of these different things, buttons and checkboxes and all of these things. So they are being defined nicely in a very object-oriented manner. And then when you write code to, in fact, I learned a lot of the design patterns because of using Swing, and you can have actually implement different types of patterns very nicely too. So it just makes it, I suppose it makes it easier when I was first learning Java, and then it's graphical. So it makes the learning part easier. You can actually see the realization, your graphical stuffs get rendered, so to speak, right? Then you can see them. There are buttons there. The object is the button. You press it, there's event driven things. So there's the event part also built into that too, right? So and anyway, I just thought I'd bring this up. But and so okay, so there's this Swing. That's amazing. And I don't know what is using that. And then there are different things, IntelliJ too, all of these stuff, right? And I'm sure maybe they may be like very interesting. I wonder if it's like underneath the hood, it is actually still having some swing code, which is kind of very interesting. Because if you look into here, this one, Java X swing.tree.variable height layout cache. So I'm sure that over here, left side is actually still utilizing a lot of the swing components too. But it's just kind of, it's interesting to me. So anyway, so I'm not sure what is actually taking up so much memory. Oh wow, this, look at this. This is like this many objects and very deep too. I'm not sure, like why this becomes all of a sudden like use up all of my memory. But of course, I have plenty of memory on my machine now. But the JVM itself is started off not like using a whole lot. But sometimes too, even though you think, okay, I can add memory to it, right? So but that's just not how JVM works too. And just so you know, you can define memory. There's the heap size and all of these things. But like I said, I'm a little rusty on that end, so I don't know. I can't explain it correctly right now, but as you can see too, there are dump files and then all of these different things, right? I need to do some refreshing in this case too. So yeah, okay. Well, anyway, I'm not sure. This is very funny. It is telling me that it's running out of memory. So I guess I can say send, or let's say send. That's fine. They can take a look at it if they want to, right? Report submitted, and okay. So in this case, it's actually very interesting. I wonder if it's because look at this over here. I have like okay, my library. I'm extend. Hold on, this guy. All of these are like the Maven, all of the dependencies too. I think it's because I'm trying to open them up or expanding all my tree, but because a lot of these, the children, right, of all of these trees are so many. So I think it just exhausted all of the memory or almost exhausted, but I don't think it's fully exhausted. But I think interesting thing is, yeah, I think maybe it did, but wow, that is fairly complicated. Well, it's just a lot of things in there. It shows you the complexity of all of these things, and then there's no need to know them all, but it's just so be aware of them. So anyway, so I'll just collapse these now. So yeah, let's collapse it. Maybe it will kind of get the problem go away. But there's also event log, right? Okay, so okay, that's fine. So nothing too serious right now. Anyway, I got distracted. So let's go back to our Redis example in here. So this is the back cache. So there's the test too, right? So in the main there, we have this Redis backed cache. It's just an example. We're trying to do the put and the get. And so now let's take a look at the example code, which is a test that is testing this using test container. So here we go. So as you can see, we're using JUnit too, and then the test container, generic container in here too, and then using the Redis client library with it too. And okay, so here we go. So we first use the generic container. This is Redis 306. Excuse me, and this is like, because we're running in Docker, we're gonna use the Docker image name, and also like with exposed ports, right? And then before test is set up, it's basically just set up the client context, right? The JEDIS, and then basically then test, generate this cache, and then from here, then we can with this cache we can test the get the put or test the put command, right? So it's just put like this, and then immediately then we can do a cache.get to make sure that it gets returned correctly. So basically it's saying that if this object gets returned, then it is a success, right? Assert is true. Then make sure the object is present. Okay, but why is it, right? Assert true. It can be found, and found object is, okay, the found object is what you get back from the cache. So you just want to make sure there is something in there. But if you want to be more fancier. You can do found object. I wonder you can, let's see, found object, could you do something like, you can want to test. Okay, so it is present. So basically, I'm just doing a get that key. So it's just saying that, but you can also, if you want to get picky on it, we can kind of get object to also make sure that what gets back, the value should be the capitalized foo in this case. And okay, here we go. So that's what the next thing is doing, assert equals. And then we expected foo. So basically is this, expecting is capital foo. So that's what it is. So, and then we want to also test the get command. So that's what it is. So, okay, so that's kind of pretty simple enough. So we can kind of quickly kind of test it. Oh, spawns Bob. Yeah, impressive knowledge. I did. Well, it's just a simple, but thank you. But I should have known better too. So, but thank you. So, are you a gamer, or are you a game developer, or game person? I wonder. So, in any event, let's try to run it in this case, right? We can then do a terminal in here. Uh, let me do this one thing. I like my terminal to be a little prettier, so to speak, right? More colorful. Let me kind of do this one thing. Here we go. Let me. I have this one thing. I actually still have things that I need to set up, right? So I just want to do this. This is how I set my prompt. Okay. Ooh. You know why? Because of this. Okay, here we go. All right, just want to have a different color. I like it like that. So, okay, here we go. So here, what we want to do in this case, go into our Redis. Am I blocking in here? I may be blocking everybody in here again. I cannot actually alter the size of this to view mode. Resize, stretch. Okay, that's fine. I cannot do this. I think I have to do it elsewhere, but that's all right. So with this, what I can do is do a Maven. Okay. Oh, and I have not installed my Maven. So let's see. Okay, see, that's what happened when you try to like do something on you. Okay, but I have gotten Brew. So let's do this. So let's install Maven. I think Brew has it too. So I'm sorry. It looks like the color isn't very good in here, right? I sometimes try to be as ooh, no, not good. Is it better now? No, these are not very good. These color, isn't it? I think this might be better, isn't it? It's just like less. This might be better, right? Okay, yeah, just easier to see, right? And otherwise, it's kind of like get very hard. Okay, so I'm just installing my Maven because I realized that on my new system I haven't even gotten Maven, and that's the thing too, right? We can kind of like spend days kind of installing a lot of things, or I should say, the more experience we are, sometimes we're kind of lazier, because when I first started working, right, it's more like, okay, let me document, we need A, B, C, D, E, all of these things. But over time, we find that our toolkit, I sometimes think of us like a workman toolbox. So you open up, you got the screwdrivers, you got the wrench, and all of these things in your box, and then it get different sizes, different shapes, and all of these things. I'm just trying to use this analogy as, the kind of software we're working with. There are just so many things, and they're different accounts, right? Different password, and then they want you to generate different password. And the thing is that I may be kind of still against storing my password in any kind of external server, even though they say it's safe. But to me, I find that if I store my password that's within my control, is not connected to the network, that's the safest. So I try to save them into my other external device, and it takes time, right, to kind of manage. I have like 200-300 different types of username, passwords. Some are personal, some are for work. So kind of does get kind of crazy, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, so and let's see, I'm in the wrong terminal. So okay, here we go. So I think Maven is there now. So they get the 384. So that's cool. All right, let me make sure Maven is here. Come on. Okay. Oh, you know why? I don't think. Well, I have downloaded JDK, but it's actually within my IDE, so it's still the old thing. But okay, don't worry about it now. Let's do it in here. I think I should be okay. Let me just do Maven. Okay, find it. Okay, cool. So here we go. So let's do the Maven. Let's do the. We know that they are kind of like hierarchical. Well, if you run test, then everything before that should also run. So otherwise, too, you can do a Maven compile. Right? Let's do it. You can do a compile first. Oh, it doesn't like it. Something. Hmm. Oh, oh, that's funny. Now it's complaining. I'm actually okay. Here we go. Version. Oh wait, wrong thing. Let's see version. Okay, am I blocking? It looks like I'm blocking everybody now. But I think you can see now. So it is actually 1.8. Okay, then why is it complaining? Because I think the Maven. Okay, let me do this. Let me see what the different thing. Let me do this one thing first. Validate the Maven. Okay, validate is okay, but validate is actually it's just a very basic check. So at least I know it is there. Initialize, no generate sources, compile. So I thought the compile should work because I'm compiling using 1.8, and this guy. Yeah, see that is because of the module system. So the 1.8 shouldn't be. Why is it so? Okay, so which Java? But see, we already know, right? This is right now by default. It's 1.8 Tamarind, and that's what I just downloaded. So this isn't good. I thought last week I was able to do this package. That wouldn't do it too because it would still be complaining. Yes. So this is kind of a bit crazy. Well, the thing is too, if not, then if this isn't good, let's kind of move over and then work on the new version, right? So which is the new version of this uh, of the test container. So let's kind of do this. Okay, this one is test containers Java. So let's clone this whole thing, and then we probably don't need this whole thing, but because then now we're gonna get a whole bunch of stuff. I wonder if I just want something from here. Redis back cache. Okay, so this guy should then work with the newer version. So in this case, oh, and then it is using Gradle too. So we could try to do this. Oh, I think I still have to do it from here. So let's do this. Okay, I copy this. Let's create into a newer project. Let's say new project from version control. Okay, this is code. Where did it go? Oh my gosh. Here we go. Test containers Java. Okay, it wants me to be like that. Okay, let's clone it. And this should be going in wait, undefined. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's okay. I'll just say trust all the projects in there. A new window. All right. So now I'm getting okay. So we can then forget about the old version, right? I was gonna say just quickly run it, uh, just to see, but apparently something is kind of not quite working, and I'm not sure because last week I thought I quickly ran it using 1.8 and with using the Eclipse Tamarind build, right? And that was okay. So I don't know how I was able to get it to work. That was strange. Even though I changed machine right now, but the machine shouldn't matter. It is the same JDK versioning that I was using. So I have to go back to my older machine and see what else that was magic in there that made it work. But in any event, so this newer version is being done in here, but we can immediately then take a look into here. Okay, so there it would be the same. So while this is loading and everything, let's take a look into. I bet the code should be the same. It shouldn't be any change. Yep, the interface is the same. The cache is essentially having a put and a get to it. Same signature, nothing different. And this is actually what we were looking at, right? And it looks the same to me, meaning it implements cache, and then it initializes. It gets a constructor, has the Jedi's and the cache name, all of these things, and then doing a put, and then doing the get. So nothing new in there, right? Then there's also the test, and that's what we were trying to run. Okay, so it is. I think it is. It's 3.306, but I thought the other one was using. Oh, I think it's the same one too. So the same Docker image, and then it just runs the test. So I think it appears to be the same, but it's just been placed inside a newer structure in here. And then in this, the only difference in here is it is running actually using Gradle in here. So okay, so all of these are good. So okay, so if it's all good, and while this is already doing a build, so I won't disturb it right now. When it's done, then we can just single out this one and take a look at it. I think it should be able to run. And I wonder too I think the JDK might be a bit newer version too. So let's take a look. Actually, okay, these are just different definition, but I wanted to take a look and see. I think here. Oh, that's pretty cool. It's got reactive. We got reactive streams in here. Tools. Okay, all right. But anyway, so this is still building. But the thing is, what I wanted to see is so Java. Where is it being? Oh, okay. So the JVM in here, okay, it's still pointing to 1.8, but I actually, well, this is still building. So let's see. Maybe I should wait until it's done because I want to be able to download JDK. In this case, I'm going to use 17, and I want to use. Talking about which, why is it IBM? See, the thing is, I was at IBM, so they actually have OpenJ9, and that's a lightning fast JVM too, but it isn't in this. So in that case, let's use the OpenJDK Eclipse Tamarind too. So this one is Arch 64. I think I should be able to use that. Okay. Okay, so this should be going to, I hope. Yep, it's downloading. It's doing, well, actually, I don't know which one is doing. Maybe I'm asking the IDE to do too much all at once. So I think it's probably got queued up right now. So, oh, it is actually doing this right now. So we'll just be a little bit patient while 4 things are happening all at once. So in the meantime, yeah, I think we've kind of spent enough time like looking at test container, right? And like I said, just wanted to kind of point out too, it is definitely pretty cool, and it's not just for Redis. We're also talking about say MQTT also, right? You write your MQTT client, you can actually employ the method using test containers to do it too. And I believe it's either to be released soon, something like that. So, okay. So, but the way to write the test to use test containers in here is essentially just using the Redis or basically define your generic container. So the generic container is essentially you can just do a Docker image name, is pull it right from Docker, and then essentially have it expose the port number, and you basically can then use it as is, right? And over here to Redis, right, we're doing that, and then through the Jedis. The Jedis is what we're interacting with each one. And let me see. Okay, so the Jedis is basically two. We have the cache, and then define your Jedis, and then you should be able to then work on the handle, and that's how you can interact with your uh, test container in this case. So okay, so that's what it is, and this is still going. And okay, so again, right, this is just an example. We can take a look too at some other example while that is going on. I would be kind of curious too to take a look into Spring Boot. How about that? Spring Boot. Okay. So let's take a look at Spring Boot, a demo app. So essentially, you enable, in this case, is just enable JPA repositories. Okay, so this kind of just a standard Spring Boot app. And of course, too, if you want to do Spring Boot, you use the Spring Initializer to generate your app too. You could use that, right? That's actually a pretty nice kind of interface. Oh, well, let's take a look since that things are still building. Spring Boot. Like I said, I'm gonna have Josh up here, and then he'll be talking a lot about that. I just love how he is so passionate, right, about things. I'm learning a lot from him too as an advocate. It's just great to see people excited and be able to demonstrate things, right? So okay, Spring, where is Spring Boot? Spring Framework. Okay, so this is okay. Here we go. Bootstrap your application with the Spring Initializer. So this is the one you can actually use this and have it generate the project for you. So you can do, looks like 263. It must be the stable one. It's by default is using that. That's fine. And we can kind of generate an example. Let's say something like, I actually have a thing now. I have my domain now, actually, maryg.1, but I need to fill in my website yet. So let's do that. 1.maryg, and let's do it like Twitch, like a demo. Okay, demo for Spring Boot in. Okay, Twitch demo, and packaging is a jar or a war. Well, we can do a jar. Let's do 17. Let's see what kind of dependency we can add. Spring Native, Spring Boot, Lombard, Spring Configuration Processor, or you can do the web stuff too. Spring Reactive Web, Spring GraphQL, REST repository, Spring Session, all of these things, right? Jersey, Vaadin, Timely. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's a lot of things, isn't it? Let me see. I don't think they actually don't have like MQTT yet, but the thing is too, and that's what Josh and I are working on, is having showing a sample of how you can actually have MQTT client communicate with the Spring framework, and it's through Spring integration. So, but let me take a look into here. Messaging. There we go. Messaging would be something interesting. The integration, right? That's the thing. Spring for RabbitMQ and Apache Kafka, all these things, right? WebSocket, RSocket, Solace, PubSub. Spring Batch. Okay, so those are the messaging. But I was hoping, I think essentially too, this one we're gonna build out and demonstrate a HiveMQ like client too with that. So, but the thing is too, IO. Then there's Spring Batch validation. So a whole bunch of things you can do. Actuator, concentric, Spring Boot admin. Okay, all of these are database, right? It's pretty. Test containers. Since we're looking at test container, let's see what will look like if we do test container dependencies in here. And let's say generate. So this is pretty cool. Now the thing is too, this is Spring, right? Everybody knows Spring now. If you're in the Java world, almost everybody does this. But like I said, I work for IBM on the WebSphere but open source team. And open liberty, I wanted to also point out too, because I still think this is also a very great, a library for developing cloud native types of Java application systems too. So over here too, there's also this whole set of guides, right, that you can use for learning and running too. So, but like I said, I just want to point out a whole bunch of different libraries and tool set that you can use. And as such, right, this is actually pretty cool. You can do immediate hands-on and things like that too. And if you ever need information, I can connect you back with my old team too. So they're wonderful people. But what I want to say is that you can, if you get started, this also you can generate a starter application too. But it's not as quite as extensive, right, as Spring in terms of the dependencies. You can kind of already kind of predefine, as you are initializing your project with you. But thing is, there are different versions too. That's interesting. But anyway, let me share that with you. I think folks will be happy that I'm sharing this with you. So, because I still love those people. I mean, it's like that. So this one is the Open Liberty website, right? Again, just wanted to share with you about that. And then with the Spring initializer, like I said, I have good friends everywhere. I think we can all live in a good world of knowing everybody's strength and use them correctly. And that's what it is. Spring framework, Spring initializer. So I also have the Spring initializer. So that's what we're doing. So we generated the demo project, right? Let's see. Where did it go? Okay. Let me move my thing over to my work directory. Let me kind of rename this to Spring Demo. And this one is 2022. Today is 02/16, like the 16th of February. So, all right. So I generated that, and it's a demo project, and I just moved that over. So let's do this one thing. Go back to my thing in here. Oh, this is still doing the updating the index. So okay, this is cool. I think it appears that even my background task, my JDK is all set too. So that is pretty cool. So let me then take a look. Not sure if Fusnabo, you are here today, but Fusnabo is in Norway. I certainly don't expect Fusnabo to be here today, but I have miss seeing you. But Fusnabo actually suggested too. That by the way, too, Fusnabo has joined my stream a couple streams ago, and so I wanted to have him online, but he's based in Norway, so it's very late. So I apologize, but sometimes too, with the time zone differences, it's harder to do this kind of thing. So I'm hoping actually in a week's time or something, I actually will have a couple days open. I think I may just do 2 streams that week or something. We'll show more things because I myself am also exploring like a different things, right? I like to be able to build some things is what I like to do. So let's plan on that. So okay, here we go. Why is it telling me about my Kotlin code style? About Kotlin code style. That must be telling me about my Gradle. So that's fine. Let's not do that for now. And so okay. Okay, so looks like this is all good. So in this case, then let me get over. What am I doing? I'm jumping everywhere now. I'm so sorry. I was going to, okay, so I generated that Spring demo app. So let's import that in a second. But for now, let's finish up with this particular example, the test container. But we'll run it in a newer version. So it's supposed to be working. So let's see, right? Okay, so this one is the Spring Back cache testing. This is the project. So let's do build Gradle to see, right? So let's see. If we go over to Gradle and then do what should we do? There's just so many things to do. Test containers, dependencies. I think I should be able to say build. Actually, just not reload. I should be able to execute. Yeah. Run anything. So I want to Azure? All these Azure thing. Okay. Actually, that's not exactly well. The thing is, I can always do it on the command line too. Let me see if I can. I have not actually up. Essentially, I have not done that yet. But let's see. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to let me do this one. Let me do this one thing. I wanted to. Okay, let me see. That's because I haven't set up my things properly. So, okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm in here and I want to go to my directory, the directory called examples. Right. Am I blocking you? I think I'm now like blocking you. So here we go. Let me do this one thing, which is to move myself out of the way again. I keep moving myself. Okay. All right. So I wouldn't be like blocking you. So we're in here. And then example, and I do the Redis cache. Let's do the Gradle build. I think it's Gradle. Okay, see, I don't have Gradle. So let me install Gradle. So, brew, install Gradle. Okay, so this would take just a minute or so. And while that is going, let's kind of go back to here. So I should be able to then use Gradle, and then I forgot about the Gradle commands. Okay, I think I should be able to go back here, reload, and go collapse, expand, no. Test containers, to build setup. Show dependencies, no. How did I get recommend plugins available for dependencies? Oh, Fabric for Kubernetes too. Let me not worry about that now. Worry about it later. And let's see if the Gradle is here yet. Still going. Yeah, see, the thing is, nothing is simple these days. Is what it is. So okay, and let's take a look. This is taking time, isn't it? Okay. All right, I think. Oh, good. So this is good now. Okay, that's good. So Gradle 7.4. So that's the version. Okay, I should be then able to do this now. Okay. Hmm. All right, because oh well, I'm just running it on this particular project and not this particular examples right of the project and not from the top of the tree. I think it's just taking time. So um, okay, so okay, so build is successful. So I can just do run Gradle, run Gradle, run Gradle task. Okay, I just want to see a list of tasks. Uh, list available is run Gradle tasks. I see. The thing is, I forgot exactly because I've been not been using Gradle for a while. Okay, is it just Gradle task? It says run. Ah, there we go. I really took it kind of literally. Run. There's no such thing. So have not authenticated with server ge.testcontainers.org. Okay, how about then if I visit this guy? This is what happened when I'm kind of like cowboy, right? Kind of thing, not preparing, just run and see what happens. And now it says I need to authenticate with the server ge.test. Let me kind of take a look. Oh, I have to authenticate with this first. So which means this is very small, but okay. Let me kind of make it a little smaller because it's a little too big. Okay, so if I sign in, I don't have an account. I wonder. Oh, you know why? Because these are like Gradle Enterprise. I wonder if there's like a public thing that I could use. Let me see. Documentation training. Okay, let me see. Learning Center. I bet. Let's see what they have. Training and events. Read tutorials. Okay, well, I probably have to do some tutorials. I kind of in general don't like to read and then just kind of just go do it. And then it comes to a point I probably should. I don't know what this enterprise thing is. Caching, keeping builds. I want something like explore or. Okay, I don't know. Well, okay, it appears that when I use test containers, I'm supposed to have to authenticate myself with this test containers the server, right? So that's what it is. So maybe what I should do is kind of take a look, take a search on this and see what it says, right? Because it might be a requirement from the test containers. So let's not go here. Let's just search for that and see what it leads me to. Build scan was not published as you have not authenticated yourself. So, all right, so let's see what it is, right? Everybody, when we search, we love this, which is Stack Overflow. Okay, accept. Okay. Okay. All right, this is also quite new. And then it says the build, authenticated. Okay, so, all right, blah, blah, blah. So I think folks are, so over here it says I actually looked into that when I first got the error. I didn't see any method to register. Okay. Okay. So somebody's asking the question. Okay, so essentially, answer is the message about the build scan can't be ignored. A build scan describes what happened during the build and is needed. Yeah, which is true. But when you run build, it is written to the build.libs directory. Then you can find the jar for the Spring Boot module under the Spring Boot project, Spring Boot build libs. Alternatively, you may want to run publish to Maven local. It will publish each module to your local Maven cache from where you can consume. Okay, so we're using Gradle in this case. So Okay, well, it doesn't really quite answer me. It is very true. It is not necessary, but I was just kind of curious to see if there's any kind of build um, kind of thing that we can kind of leverage on, right? So that's what it is. So okay, so no big deal. So in this case, I think what I can do now that I got Gradle up here, I should be able to say build. So it should then only like build my current. Oh, it doesn't pass. It did not pass. So let's see what's going on. Oops. Let's see. Generating equals hash code implementation, but without a call to superclass. Okay. And that's just a warning, so that's okay. Exception in the compiler. File bug. Cannot read binding when true because current bindings is null. Um, I wonder if it's because the code too hasn't been changed, right, since JDK 1.8. So, um, or JDK 8, right, Java 8. So now I'm trying to do it in 17, then it's giving me problems. Uh, I think something with the current bindings. I don't know what that is right now. So it's just basically telling me that it failed. So what I can do is okay. Let's kind of make sure too. This make sure. So now it is using 17. Okay, so 17 it doesn't like it. So how about if I switch back to well, that's what we did, right? We were doing like the 1.8 version. So let me do this one thing. I wonder. But this isn't good, because this is what they have, so it's not our fault. Can I maybe let me kind of use a just to kind of make sure it works. Maybe try this guy with okay, there are different versions. Project SDK. Let's do the Project SDK 1.8. See if that maybe that's how I was able to get it to work the previous time is not using the specific Eclipse one. Maybe there's some small tiny thing, doesn't have to be big, right? Some small things and is blocking you from doing the work. In this case, I don't know if I can when this shell is already open with that. So let me open up another one. Oops. Let me kind of go back to my thing in here. I really have to kind of set this up, but sometimes when I'm setting things up, just haven't got around to it. So, okay, here we go. All right, let me give that a try. No, not test support. What is it called? Examples. Test containers. Add cache. Let's kind of go to the testing directory. Wait. Oh, test. You know what it is? Spell kind of without correctly. So let's do this guy. Let's do a creative clean first. Okay. Build. Ooh, still not like it. So I think let's see if it's picking up. I bet. Okay, it's still picking up 17. I wonder. I can't just like change it like that. I have to essentially something is already there. Hmm. Hmm. Oops, no, not check for updates. Wrong click. Okay. Um. Okay. So it's the Gradle JVM, which is okay. I think I want to use Project SDK now, and I enable it. Okay, that's fine. So how can I wonder if I reload without exiting. I'm just trying to avoid exiting. And let's just do a repair. Reload all from disk. No. Restart. Let me just restart and see if that might kind of adjust and clean up all this stuff for me. So okay. Oops. Okay, it's still. I think it's still pointing to 17. I think it's because my project itself. I'm telling it to use 17. Don't show. Recommend. Okay, just worry about it later. Um, let's see. I think my Java. I need to set somewhere. But test container, I've told it to do Tamarind 1.8. Oh no, sorry. Yeah. I wonder if it's because I'm doing it sort of like mid-flight, right? So then it might not work. Let me try the Eclipse Tamarind one. See if that might have done any difference. I might need to like completely do a rebuild. I think that might be what it is needed. So if I go to Gradle and do a reload, and then also refresh all of the dependencies. Yeah, I probably need to do that first rather than just assuming once I change the configuration, it knows to kind of pick up from, from the new stuff. But I think that might be what it is. So let me kind of take a look. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that this is looking okay. Okay, it does look like it's okay, right? Yeah. Is it going? This is still going. I think let me kind of take a look into dependencies. Okay, these are all the dependencies built. Okay, that's good. I wonder now that I sort of done the that, let me kind of go. I think it is still referring to 17. Hmm. Yeah, over here too, I'm telling it to do 1.8, right? So it knows it is 8. Let's see. I don't know if I'm maybe changing it to 8, that might be a little bit messing up with some of these things, but languages and frameworks. Tools. Okay, that's not wouldn't be in the tools section, but for sure too. I think that should be okay in here, right? Java compiler, project bytecode. Okay, let me kind of see if this. Like I said, over here, I've already set it up to 1.8 and it's good. And let me do this one thing. Let me kind of like see. Let's do a build. Okay. All right, let's see if that might have kind of helped too a bit in that case. So. Not sure if anybody is still around here now. Oh, I do get an error. Azure tests. I'm not sure what that is. Fail tests. Some container class. Could not find a valid Docker environment. I wonder if it's because I've switched it to 8 and then it may not work. You know, Java 8, right? I'm talking about. So. You know what I'll do? Let me kind of run it on the command line because sometimes within an IDE, there are certain kind of expectations, so to speak, right? So let me go in here. Okay, let me kind of make sure I'm not blocking, right? You know what, too? Let me actually switch the color because I think maybe the color is a little bit hard to see as I'm kind of noticing, too. Okay, let me. Sometimes I'm trying to be like, okay, let me kind of use different things and. This is better, or maybe let me do it a little bit darker. Ooh, but then that isn't very clear too. Maybe it's making it worse. Make it like a little bit more kind of off-white, right? That might be better. Okay. All right, then. This might look a little better. Okay, here we go. So we're looking specifically at examples. Let me kind of also make sure it looks okay too. Is it okay? Yeah, I think it looks better now, right? Isn't it? Yeah, right. Okay. Actually, I should actually get rid of that label of my name too because it appears to be blocking, isn't it? Nope, that's not what I meant to do. How can I tell it general participant names? Okay, let me I turn off the name so then you can see better. And I wanted to adjust again the color because I shouldn't have been like so trying to be like creative or something, but it's not. It's just kind of make things kind of doesn't make things look too nice. I think this is better. Let me kind of take a look. Let me see. Because I'm noticing the contrast wasn't too good. So yeah, I think this is better now. So it kind of highlights the things better. So here we go. Okay. Is it in testing or the other things? Oh, oh, but this isn't doesn't look good too. Maybe this might be a little bit better in this case, right? Okay. See, it isn't showing up. I realize, but okay, that might be okay. No. Okay, I think it's probably the best I could do for now. Okay. Well, okay. So that was just the clean. So let's do a build. So it's still having some issue. I have a feeling that this might be the same issue that we run into. Okay, so I feel that it's because of a mismatch, right? I'm still picking up 17. Um, okay, so I'm using this. How can I switch to using Tamarin 1.8, right? Or kind of just use a lower version. Okay, that's something I need to kind of look into. But unfortunately, then I think I'm running this stream a little too long, almost 2 hours. So I apologize for that. So what I'll do is that next time, let me kind of get this particular case working. I may actually check in with a guy who is the Redis dev advocate to ask him about it. There might be some tweaks that I need to do or something, or maybe while I'm here too. Let me kind of take a look into here. Maybe the README file said something. Uh, okay, so there's some blog posts, but it doesn't have as much of a kind of a documentation. So it's kind of like up to us to decide. So if let's say if I kind of build it in here, I wonder what happened to. Let's do the Gradle clean. Okay, and then let's build it from here. Oops, sorry. Wrong typing. Okay, let me kind of still adjust the adjust the thing. Ooh. Sorry guys. I keep kind of changing colors. This might be better now, I think maybe. Okay, I apologize for that. Okay. Let me kind of let's do the build from here. Maybe let's see, just do a clean build, clean kind of build and run essentially run, and it should kick off all of the tests too for the examples directory. It could be only like that one particular case is not working, is my guess. So okay. Oh, I think some things. Not sure which one this is. It could be the same. Oh, okay. Bindings are untrue. So it could also be their tests too are kind of just not ready, because here I am, right, compiling all of the examples directory. Is not working. Looks like. So okay, so I probably should then check in with the test containers guy and ask them about it too. Again, if we go back right to the test container, so this is the one, right, I was just cloning from. Let me ask those guys. The examples directory apparently is this whole thing is doesn't appear to be able to have a clean build. I didn't change anything in the source code level, right? Trying to build it, and I'm just using 17, unless it is not supposed to be using 17, but it doesn't tell me not to use 17, and that's the latest version, available version of Java. Now, by the way, too, Java 18 will be coming out in March, so. Let me check with those guys and see what happens. It could be test containers. So, okay, so with this, I'm almost like 2 hours is up. And so thank you if you are still here watching, but I doubt if anybody is still here because I started the stream late. And then it's just kind of a bit of, again, yet another not to prepare episode, but it's on test containers. But at least we've taken a dive into looking into this and see how Redis works with test containers in a very simple, basic kind of cases. I hope to be able to resolve this issue with the test containers folks, the atomic jar people, and then I will let you know next time. And like I said, right, I'm trying to run more streams too per week. And if there's any specific things, please let me know. And again, this would be my uh, Discord server. Join me on my Discord server. We can have more conversations around programming, around Java. Again, I like to get into other languages too. If you have any specific things you wanted to share with me, please let me know too. I can invite you onto my stream too. So, with that, thank you very much. And you all, please take care. Keep safe. Okay? Bye.